Turn his ears.
I'd like to call the November 1st, 2010 City Council meeting to order and request a motion to seat a chair pro tem.
I'd like to move that Alderman Conken be seated.
Alderman Moiseo. Aye. Figueroa.
Aye.
Newsom.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman Needham. Alderman Larson.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera. Alderman Cunningham.
Aye.
Alderman Conken. Roll call.
Mr. Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
Alderman Moiseo.
Present.
Alderman Figueroa.
Present.
Alderman Newsom. Alderman Tempest.
Present.
Alderman Needham. Alderman Larson.
Present.
Alderman Rivera. Alderman Cunningham.
Present.
Alderman Conken.
Present. Now it's time for please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence afterwards. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Please be seated. Since the mayor is absent, I will forego the mayor's comments and we'll move right to audience time. Karen Cowell, I believe is the first name, please.
Good evening. My name's Karen Cowell, and I'm the director of Alexian Brothers The Harbor. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about what we do in the community. We're a transitional housing facility for adult men and women who are HIV positive. And you may or may not know, we've been in the community for over 12 years. And we really started as a community organization, and was started with organizations like the United Way and Catholic Charities and the Lake County Health Department and local churches, seen a need for housing for people who were HIV positive in Lake County. And there is a great need for housing for this population. There's approximately probably 650 to 700 people in Lake County who are HIV positive. And statistically, 40 to 60% of those people will need housing at some point in their lifetime. So we're talking about 250 to 350 people in the county who will be in need of housing. And the majority of those live in the urban area of Waukegan and North Chicago. People live in our facility for up to 2 years. We surround them with supportive services like case management. About 80 to 90% of our clients have substance abuse issues, so we have an on-site certified alcohol and drug counselor. About 50% of them also have a mental health diagnosis. And over the last 12 years, we've helped over 150 individuals. So just to review about what we do. And the other reason that I'm here today is as part of the community, we work with other organizations to organize World AIDS Day, which is December 1st, which is a Wednesday this year. And we, again, work with Catholic Charities, the Lake County Health Department, and one of the local churches. This year we're having our World AIDS Day event at Waukegan High School at the, I don't remember, at the Brookside campus at Trapp Auditorium. And this is a verbal invitation. You all get a formal invitation soon to join us on December 1st from 6 to 7:30 there. It'll be we have a short program with a lot of performances from community members who are affected by HIV. And that's all. I have a little packet, which is a brochure and a bit about us, and also a flyer for the World AIDS Day event. And if you have any questions or need any information later, please give me a call.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Next up, we have Violet Ricker. Violet?
Good evening. My name is Violet Ricker. I live at 10 North Sheridan Road. I'm the director of Waukegan Main Street, and I'm here tonight to speak on behalf of two items that are coming up on the agenda that Waukegan Main Street is very, very excited about. The first is Dinosaur Studio, the proposed tattoo studio and art gallery looking at space on South Genesee Street. And the other is Clockwise Theater, looking at space on North Genesee Street. And so I would just like to stand before all of you and say thank you very much for how supportive City Council has been of both of these initiatives. I think it sends a wonderful tone both to the business community in Waukegan and in the region to say that we are truly receptive to new business ideas, as well as that we are really following in line with the city's vision of arts as economic development. I think it's something that the Genesee Theater started, that Art Space is helping to promote, and that both Dinosaur Studio and Clockwise Theater are really going to help grow. So I would just ask everybody in the audience who's here to support both of these initiatives to raise your hands and say hello to City Council tonight. But thank you very much, and we look forward to working with both of these businesses. If you have any questions, all of our petitioners are here this evening to answer any questions for you later in the agenda. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Violet. Next up is Brendan Alviani.
Hello.
State your name and address, please.
Okay. Hello, my name is Brendan Alviani. I live at 425 South McAllister. And just wanted to say that, first off, I don't represent either Family Piano Co. or Waukegan Main Street, although I'm both associated with these key players who do have a stake in Dinosaur Studios. But on a very personal level, I just wanted to say that in talking to people and trying to get their responses, there are two main concerns that I'd like to just say a few words about. One is that Mark might draw the wrong clientele. Well, so can a bar, but bars attract the clientele that they market to. And Mark, in everything that he's done, has said that he is going to market to the middle class, respectable sort of establishment that both Family Piano Co. and Greentown both also market to. So I think the clientele is a concern, but I think is being addressed. Also, I'd like to say about the perception of a tattoo parlor, or studio, I apologize, in downtown Waukegan being a deterrent to outside interest in Waukegan. Libertyville, Kenosha, Zion, when you hear these town names, you don't automatically associate them with tattoo studios, or you're not deterred by going to these towns because they have these establishments. I do not believe that would be the case with Waukegan. I believe you would want to go to it, or you wouldn't. But you would not change your plans based on something that doesn't have to do with what you're doing. I believe that Mark is the right guy for this, and that I have a lot of faith in him working with him as a potential new neighbor. Thank you.
Thank you. And finally, who's it? Mary Claire Jakes? No, Mr. Blanks has backed out. He's not speaking tonight.
Sorry, Brother Blanks. Mary Claire Jakes, 1944 Ash Street, Waukegan 60087. As I met all of you last time as the new president of Waukegan Main Street, I come to you today with that same hat on. As Violet said, and you've read, Waukegan Main Street stands behind both Dinosaur Studio and Clockwise Theater as two more pieces in this large puzzle, as it gets to be, of what an arts community will look like here in Waukegan. What I'd like to have people think about is that the city has chosen Waukegan to be an arts destination. You invested and will continue to invest a lot of money in the Genesee Theater and the Karcher Art Space Lofts. And we have encouraged people to come here to do arts programming, Rhythm Dance Academy. Next door to Little Fort Media, they have music. Chaplin's Java has music every Friday night. They get people from Chicago. And one of the things I think we need to understand is when we decide to be an arts destination community, we have to realize that there's a breadth and depth of what arts mean. And I think it's an education process that we all need to consider when we look at what that's going to mean, and organizations and businesses that will come to this community. Now, City Council, you have a lot of power in your hands. You'll get to say through your processes, your different committees, you know, we want this business or not. And all I can say is let's make sure that we do enough education in terms of the different arts projects that are proposed for this community, that we don't have a knee-jerk reaction stereotype of whatever it is. When I think of, when I've heard people say, oh my God, tattoo parlor, and I say, no, it's a tattoo design studio. And they kind of look at me like, yeah. But I remind them, how many people have heard of a massage parlor? And you know what that means to you, massage parlor. But in our town, 2 blocks over, we have a massage therapy practice, Terratage, which is phenomenal. Over the years, people have grown to understand the difference between this parlor and her practice. There is a difference between a tattoo parlor, which do exist, and a tattoo studio, and really a design studio. Mark's a great artist. So I think we need to keep that in mind as we look at what's going on. And I would say in the same way, we're all excited about having Clockwise Theater here. But I will tell you, can't swear to it, but more than likely, over the next few years, they will put on some production, they will do something that's going to make some of you go, whoops, uh-oh, we agreed to that. And that's where I think we need to all stand back and realize we are not going to be Libertyville, and I don't want to be, or Lake Forest, Kenosha, Zion. I want to be an arts destination community. That will bring people here, people in Waukegan and people outside Waukegan, to come to this because of the arts. And just something I saw today, it's Nation Cities Weekly, October 18th, has an article on the economic impact of the nonprofit arts in America. A $166.2 billion industry nationally. You go, yeah, well, we're not going to get those billions in Waukegan, are we? But if you look at their data, what you find out is that for every dollar that is spent by one of these organizations, $1.63 is spent in the community as a result of those activities. That's what we're banking on here, literally and figuratively. So I thank you for making the commitment for Waukegan to be an arts destination community, and I ask you to continue to look at what we're doing in terms of what that will mean in the long term. Thanks so much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, that will end audience time. I'd like to take a motion to accept the minutes of the October 18, 2010 regular meeting and executive session.
So moved.
Moved by Alderman Tempest, second. Second. By Alderman Newsom. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Resolution and proclamations have been canceled for tonight's meeting. Committee reports, public safety, Alderman Rivera, please.
Larson.
Or, excuse me, Alderman Larson.
And Alderman Conakins on that committee.
Both committees.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. The Public Safety Committee met on October 25th, 2010 at about 6 o'clock. The only item of new business is regarding a traffic survey, stop signs Highland Avenue at New York Street and Grove Avenue at Westmoreland Avenue. The Public Safety Committee recommends, and I so move, that the proper city officials be authorized to draft an ordinance to reflect one-way stops at westbound Highland Avenue at New York Street and eastbound Grove Avenue at Westmoreland Avenue. Motion by
Motion by Alderman Larson, second by Alderman Moiseo. Excuse me, second by Alderman Newsom, her ward. Voice vote, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Just for information, Mr. Chairman, the annual public auction of seized property was held on October 2nd, and the city accrued $2,518.44. That money is put into the general fund. And it was suggested to the police chief, who organizes it, that we start thinking seriously about putting forward the seized property on the internet to possibly, undoubtedly, may attract more interest than the annual auction, which is held with a number of communities participating. So I asked the police chief to put together a report and plan for that for next year. That is all. Oh, one other thing. Excuse me. Chief Young gave an update on the alarm board project. Right now, there's approximately 850 total customers that connect to the Waukegan Alarm Board, including fire and burglar. We've already installed about 140 radios. We have over 200 requests, and November 30th is the limitation on the free connection of that wireless transmitter. The purpose of this is twofold, and I strongly suggest any business who hasn't already touched base with our provider, which is Comtech Alarm, a division of Kelso Burnett, to do so immediately. Get on the list, because number one, your alarm connection cost will undoubtedly drop because you are able to eliminate the leased line cost that AT&T imposes. And we feel that the $89 a month will generate the city's portion of that revenues will jump from $12 to $25 per connection this year and go up to, I believe, $60 a month. So the city itself will accrue approximately 4 to 5 times the revenue that we are currently doing when this installation of the wireless transmitters is completed. So it's a win-win for the businesses and the city. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Next on the agenda is the Judiciary Committee report. Alderman Figueroa.
Judiciary. Thank you, Your Honor. The Judiciary Committee met on Monday, October 25th, 6:30 p.m. And the first item on the agenda item number A, is being held over to iron out some issues with curbs and gutters. And not an issue, but it's see if we can, an agreement for curbs and gutters. Item number B, it has to do with some area out there in Ward 9 around a pond. And this is area that's in a flood zone, close to being in a flood zone, at the request of the Homeowners Association out there. Maybe Alderman Rivera might want to elaborate. But the Judiciary Committee recommends, and I so move, to have the Corporation Council draft an ordinance approving the map amendment from the outlots N, O, P, Q, and Q of the Fields of Cambridge subdivision from R5 Limited General Residence to CR, which is Conservation Recreation Zoning. This is zoning calendar 2301. And again, that's in Ward number 9.
We have a motion by Alderman Figueroa, seconded by Alderman Cunningham. Are there any questions on the motion?
I'll second it.
Alderman Rivera will second it. Okay, out in his ward. Any questions on the motion? Any comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number C has to do with the same project, but this request came as a result of the Waukegan Park District, that those parcels of property were donated to the Waukegan Park District. The Corporation Council, the Judiciary Committee recommends, and I so move, to have the Corporation Council draft an ordinance approving the amendment for outlots M of the Fields of Cambridge subdivision from R5 Limited General Recreation to CR Conservation Recreation zoning calendar 2302. What's the question?
We have a motion by Alderman Figueroa, seconded by Alderman Rivera. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to make a comment so the rest of the public knows, why this homeowner association, Fields of Cambridge, who they are in the audience. These outlets have been identified as containing a threatened and endangered species of orchids known as the Eastern Prairie Fringe Orchid. And the homeowner association is also proposing with the Illinois Nature Preserve Commission to establish this area as an Illinois nature preserve. And also, they would like, if anyone wants to give them any ideas, they'd like to name it too, as well. Name it after a veteran or someone that's, is interested in green and preserving. And so if anyone knows of anyone that's really an ally to that, let me know, and I'll let the homeowner association know as well that we have a name. So that's all.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Items D and E have to do with the tattoo studio and art gallery. And we had a presentation last Monday at our Judiciary Committee meeting. And a couple things that between then and now that I've become made aware of is that the state does in fact regulate body art programs. And these are being regulated in the county by the Public Health Service in the county of Lake. I had an opportunity to talk to Mr. Pfister, Mark Pfister, and there are 15 approved body art or tattoo studios in Lake County, 5 of which, or 1/3, are in Libertyville. So when the article that appeared in the News Sun says that Waukegan gets the art studio that was rejected by Libertyville, what I found out is that that particular spot, the zoning wasn't right. So they came to Waukegan. I think that's correct. Am I right? Where am I? Is the owner of the tattoo studios here? Okay. Anyway, to make a long story short, I've gotten some phone calls, but we're in new times, and I think that I can't put it any better than Waukegan Main Street has already done so. We're in a new era. I had, in the past, frowned upon art studios, but what we want to do is we want to bring them under control. And there are a lot of clandestine body art studios. I only call them let's call them tattoo parlors in Lake County, unregulated, clandestine type. And we want to bring them under regulation to make sure that they use the proper utensils and the cleanliness is up to state standards. Anyway, started to say it like you did. The Judiciary Committee recommends, and I so move, this is item number D, to have the Corporation Council draft an ordinance approving the text amendment allowing tattoo studio with art gallery as a conditional use in the B5 General Service District zoning calendar 2303.
I have a motion by Alderman Figueroa, seconded by Alderman Cunningham. Any questions on the motions?
I would like to make a comment, if I may.
Alderman Tempest.
I would like the Corporation Council, when he drafts the ordinance, to somehow draft it in such a way that we could revisit it if it's not going the way we are led to believe. I myself, I really don't like tattoos. I don't like them on girls either. I just lost half my votes. But it's a new trend. The young kids have them. And who am I to pass my judgments and my criteria on someone else? I think people ought to be able to make their own choices. We govern too much, I think, sometimes. We don't give people freedom of choice. You can't do this, you can't do that. My Lord, you can't smoke at the table anymore. You got to go outside. I didn't mind if you smoked next to me, but I think we have some checks and balances just in case some people's fears come to pass, which I doubt.
That's the purpose of the conditional use.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Any other comments?
I'd like to make a-
Alderman Cunningham.
I received a phone call today from a longtime Waukeganite, and
and they were voicing their concerns regarding the tattoo. Well, the example that I gave him is that, yes, the parlor or tattoos of yesterday used to be that those who were received or gotten tattoos were, bikers, thug-type guys, and that was the environment that, that was associated with the tattoo parlor. But if you look at today's environment, as Alderman Tempest said, 30 years ago, those who rode Harleys were considered, just rough bike guys. Nobody wanted to be around them. Harley Davidson's primary market now is middle-aged men and women who buy bikes just to enjoy it. That right there should let us all know that this particular era or this environment has changed as to what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. As we move forward in our downtown development and planning, I don't think that a artist or whatever you want to call yourselves, as long as you're bringing, and understand what our goal is. Our goal has always been is to bring bodies downtown who's going to spend money. That's been the goal, from my understanding now. And if this artist is what they do and is going to attract middle class and upper middle class, or those who want to pay the accommodating dollars to get body piercing, so be it. But we have, from a city and from a process and from a standard that is going to be set here, as Alderman Tempest said earlier, we're setting a standard. What happens is when people come into our town, we don't have standards, then you go away, and then we have to come behind it. But we're setting standards now. So if he's going to be bringing people in there, spending $40, the average income, $50,000, $60,000, I want them downtown. I need them downtown. And hopefully they bring other people to our downtown. That's the goal. As long as we stay to the goal and forget about all the other stuff, our goal is to bring bodies downtown who can spend money at Greentown, at Joplin Job, wherever. Bring those bodies downtown and enjoy a time in Waukegan. So for the critics that are out there, you don't say anything when they're in Libertyville they want to open up. You don't say anything there in Highwood or Deerfield, but you say something to Waukegan. Give me, if you don't want them there, then give me somebody to backfill that space. We're looking at business people who owns property, who need to rent them, and if they don't rent them, then they lose them. So if this gentleman has a plan that has been approved by others, and I've kind of watched this and dissect this as much as I can, along with 9 other bodies and a host of others. Our goal is to bring people into our city. What it sounds like is you don't want those folks coming to our city so they can go to your city. But they're going to come to Waukegan. And we're going to act like we're supposed to act. The county seat, the largest city on the North Shore, and we're going to show that we can do this right. So congratulations to you, and hopefully we'll begin to get other people coming in and understanding we have a process in place, there are going to be standards in place, and as long as you come in with the right product, bringing people to our downtown, we're going to be successful. That's the way I look at it. Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Chairman, if I may make another comment.
Alderman Rivera, please.
Well, first of all, Brandon, I agree with what you said earlier. It is going to complement all the businesses there. Greentown, the Family Piano Store. I think it's a great compliment. And we're committed to the art space approach here, for the downtown. I think this is a great start. And these people are interested in doing business in our own community. So we have to open up our arms for them. Besides that, it's not the perception, who cares about the perception? Here, if this man's, from what I hear, he has a lot of talent. I think the product is what's going to bring the people into the downtown area. And if his product is exceptional, it's going to happen. People are going to come and support it. So again, congratulations, and believe me, how many times have we been agreeing with a lot of other businesses in the past that haven't, didn't happen? Well, this is going to happen, so, we got to support it, no question about it. Thank you.
Alderman Needham.
Just to alleviate anyone's fears out there, we have, when we go by the conditional use that will be in place, or the conditional uses that are mentioned when the ordinance is drafted, that'll come back to the council, there'll be enough checks and balances in place to, let's just say, people are worried about the type of crowd that comes in, the bad element, the police calls. We'll have mechanisms in place where we can take that business license pretty much any time we want to. With that being said, I think when you look, like Alderman Cunningham said, from the old tattoo parlors and the Harley analogy, this isn't sailor anchors and mom on your arm anymore. This is an evolution. Just watching the reality TV shows, the quality of the body art studios, the product and the reputation of the owner and the artist is huge. Plus, it's gone by our planning and zoning. It's gone by Main Street, and it's been sliced and diced and gone over time after time to make sure it's a fit. So, I think put everybody's fears in perspective. We have the mechanisms in place, but once it gets going, I challenge people to go down there and take a look for themselves.
Thank you. Alderman Larson.
Thank you, Chairman. This design studio is just that. It's body art. The evolution of this practice is quite extraordinary from what I've been able to read about. Congratulations. I look forward to seeing it in practice. In fact, I have to say I've got a 60th birthday coming up very shortly. And all I can tell you is that the one who is much wiser than I that I live with is I'm already campaigning to see if maybe my Marine Corps designation can find a place on my body. But that's a battle I haven't yet won. But I congratulate you and I do support it. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Alderman Larson. Alderman Moiseo.
Waukegan, welcome to the 21st century. And I'll be coming to see you.
All right, I have a motion on the floor. I assume any more comments, questions? Second by Alderman Moiseo.
Yes, there was a second.
Cunningham.
Alderman Cunningham.
I thought it was Alderman Cunningham,
He's
right?
a chairman of the, vice chairman of the. I do have a copy of the, if any of the aldermen wish to read from the State of Illinois Public Health, I've got a copy of the Tattoo and Body Piercing Establishment Registration Act. So, no, I just Xeroxed the 5 pages that are pertinent to regulation. No gobbledygook.
We have a motion on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
I'll say aye. We need some contribution.
Never thought that would get an applause. Okay, item E. The Corporation Council, the Judiciary Committee recommends, and I so move, to have the corporation draft an ordinance approving the conditional use permit. Let's see, the first one was a text amendment allowing as a conditional use in that B5 Central Service District. This one is the Corporation Council draft an ordinance approving the conditional use permit for a tattoo studio and art gallery at 114 South Genesee Street. This is zoning calendar 2304.
A motion by Alderman Figueroa, seconded by Alderman Cunningham. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations.
The last item on the agenda, on the Judiciary Committee agenda, item F, is the amendment to annual action plan. Petitioner is Ezel Robbins, the Director of CDBG, to amend the annual action plan. What I'd like to do at this moment is make the motion and have a second so that E.L. Robbins can come up and not only for the audience here, but the audience at home, give us a brief description of what this entails. We've all seen the CDBG action plan, the annual action plan, and this would be an amendment to the effect. So I so move.
Second.
Got a motion by Alderman Figueroa, seconded by Alderman Larson. We want to have Ezel speak first?
Yeah, E.L. Robbins, yeah.
Yeah, Ezel, please come up and.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Mayor. We are asking council support in amending 3 years of our annual action plan will include program year 2008, 2009, and 2010. What we want to do is move some funds from one infrastructure project to another. We have an area that has some really bad streets, and we really need to do some work on those streets. So we are going to amend our action plan to move the funds to that project. I can answer any questions anyone might have.
Now, those are the streets in the second ward, correct?
Right, it is the streets in the, what most of us know as the duplex area just south of 12th Street will include Tobin Court, Fulton Court, Bush Court, and Collier Court.
Yeah. That's the second ward, yeah. Thank you. I guarantee some people down there are very grateful to hear this news.
That's in the second ward.
It is the second ward. It is my ward, right?
It's over there on 13th, 12th, 11th, and 12th Street, yes.
I didn't hear you.
Oh,
Did you have a question?
There was in the second ward up there.
It's all in the
It's
second
really
ward.
well needed.
Right,
All along
exactly.
that second ward.
Exactly. We've been
Okay.
trying to figure out a way to get this done for probably about 4 years, to say the least, and it just continues to get worse, and so we're going to try and bring some relief for those homeowners over there.
I'm sure it's very much appreciated down there. I've been down there. The roads are bad.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments? We have a motion on the floor. I have a voice vote, please.
No, this requires a roll
Oh,
call.
this is a roll call. Roll call.
Alderman Moiseo. Alderman Figueroa.
Aye.
Alderman Newsom. Alderman Tempest. Alderman Needham.
Aye.
Alderman Larson. Alderman Rivera.
Aye, this is an
Alderman
area
Cunningham.
that's badly needed.
Aye.
And Alderman Conken.
Aye. We'll move to old business then. Motion carried, by the way. We'll move to old business. We have item A, motion by Alderman Tempest, seconded by Alderman Moiseo to approve as presented the Clockwise Theater lease for 221 North Genesee Street. It was held over last time by Alderman Newsom. Do I have a, what do I ask for, a motion?
The motion's already
No, we can just vote on it.
Everything's okay? We have a motion on the floor, seconded.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those
This
opposed?
is going to require, it's city property, it's requires a vote.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye, and this is absolutely the best use for this building. We were never going to get anything else in there. It's attached to the Genesee, so this is absolutely the best use for this building. Congratulations, Clockwise.
Alderman Figueroa.
I don't know if I want to say I'd never get anything in there, but I think for the time being, not to jump all over what you're saying, but I think that at this time, this is really an exciting step that the city is taking, and with the leadership of the, not just Clockwise, but the Arts Council, and everybody that's involved in this project. I'm really excited to see this step, because it's going to bring a lot of people downtown, and just a lot of excitement to the downtown. And that's going to help other businesses too. So my vote is a definite aye.
Alderman Newsom.
Did you get that?
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
I'll vote aye, but I see we're only getting $1 a year. I hope we could get a little more than that, but that's a pretty good rent.
Alderman Needham.
Aye, and that dollar's a pretty good investment for 5 years, I think, and
Maybe after 5 years.
after
we could
5
raise it.
years, when everything's taken off again, I think everyone will be positioned pretty well. And thanks to Judge Waller for her perseverance in this project, you and your team. Thank you.
Alderman Larson.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
I vote aye, and I support the Art Space Initiative and also the Art Space Committee as well.
Alderman Cunningham.
Aye.
Alderman Conken.
Aye. Item B, due to the firm's unique, congratulations, Charge space. Item B, due to the firm's unique experience and qualifications in the financial advisory services related to deriving value from municipal assets, is requested to authorize a waiver for the bid procedure and award a contract to Scott Ballas Strategies through April 20th of 2012 in amount not to exceed $40,000. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved.
Who is that? Alderman
First
Needham and Alderman Tempest.
In that order.
We'll need a roll call vote, please.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Figueroa.
Aye.
Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman Needham.
Aye.
Alderman Larson.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Cunningham.
Aye.
Alderman Conken.
Aye. There are no communications. It's new business. Approve the payroll dated October 20th, 2010, the amount of $1,280,426.95, and October 22nd, 2010, the amount of $1,202.88. I have a motion by Alderman Figueroa.
Second.
Second by Alderman.
Finance.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, Alderman Needham and Alderman Tempest.
Roll call.
Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Figueroa.
Aye.
Alderman Newsom. Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman Needham.
Aye.
Alderman Larson.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Cunningham.
Aye.
Alderman Conken.
Aye. Item B, approve the bills dated October 29, 2010, in the amount of $1,878,936.49. Motion by Alderman Needham, second by Alderman Tempest. Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Figueroa.
Aye.
Alderman Newsom. Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman Needham.
Aye.
Alderman Larson.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Cunningham.
Aye.
Alderman Conken.
Aye. Item C, to appoint Jacqueline Herrera Huron to the Development Commission.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Figueroa, second by Alderman,
I've got a
Second.
question.
second by Alderman Cunningham. We have a question on the motion. Alderman Larson.
Maybe someone can clarify this for me. Ms. Garan is well qualified from her resume, but she has an address as a P.O. box. And I have to ask, is she a resident of Waukegan?
I do not know. Do we have an answer?
From my understanding, she is.
Residency is a requirement of the Development Commission, and the resume was passed along. The mayor indicated she is, but if you want to hold it over until we have a specific address, I think that's fair.
I appreciate that.
I agree. Why don't we
I
hold it
think,
over?
I think, point of information, I think that P.O. Box was given because she works in the Public Defender's Office, so I think that's part of the issue we have here since someone's actual address. in that
Yes, she
position is
does.
not
She
given.
works in the Public Defender's
works in the
Office, so
public
we,
I understand it. and
yeah. I think we, I think we should go on and just either prove it here with understanding to make sure that that address, it has a Waukegan address, just, you know.
Well,
But Russ, are you confident?
Why don't we just hold it over and find out for sure?
You're all right, yeah.
It's a requirement. Residency is a requirement for
So
this commission.
it's a requirement. If the mayor checked it out, then so be it.
She's,
let's
went to Waukegan, Waukegan grad, but right now, okay.
She's what?
Let's vote on it.
It's Waukegan
Yeah.
grad.
I'm a
Long,
Waukegan.
long, but no, let's hold it over.
Call for the
We're
question.
gonna hold it over, or we're gonna vote on it?
Mr. Chairman, if you're in favor of it, when you vote on it, and someone's not from
Yeah.
Waukegan, it disqualifies it.
Yeah, just, they
Yeah.
automatically disqualified, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's vote on it.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor.
And a
Motion
second.
by Alderman Figueroa, second by Alderman Cunningham. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. At this time, I'd like to ask for a motion to move Alderman's time up to this position, next position, so in order to let all the aldermen speak, because we are going to have an executive session, and this would allow the aldermen to speak before the executive session, and then we would come back and act on the last three items on the list. So can I get a motion? So moved. Motion
Second.
by Alderman Tempest, second by
Second.
Alderman Cunningham. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Alderman time.
Moiseo. Alderman
Pass.
Moiseo.
Pass.
Alderman Figueroa.
What's the vote for?
It's Alderman's time. It's your turn to speak.
Oh, pass.
Alderman Newsom.
He's passing.
Alderman Tempest.
Pass.
One item, we held over tonight the final plat of Martin Gus subdivision. I'd ask the aldermen to go out and look at that area. In present form, they have no curbs, no gutters. I feel that area, if you look south where it's been redone, they all have curbs and gutters. I feel we ought to have standards that they follow. There were 2 streets that were plotted. They weren't put in, but they're plotted on the map. That's where the streets are going to go. We vacated one of those streets a year ago, so the developer got 3 extra lots. Means he's not going to have to put in 2 streets, only 1 street, but yet he don't want to put in curb and gutter. And I asked this body, I'll be glad to take you in my car and show you the area and walk the area with you, because he got 3 extra lots by vacating that 1 street, which he isn't going to have to put in now. The streets aren't in. They're dedicated streets that will be put in. So I ask you to look at it real carefully, and I think we ought to maintain our standards as we move forward, bringing subdivisions into Waukegan. Thank you.
Alderman Needham.
Real quick, last meeting I commented on Halloween and trick or treat and how historically by design, we had a 2-hour window, did it on the Sunday, and did it during daylight hours. And I did some checking. I don't think we had any instances. And I know we've taken it on the chin. How come it's not longer? Why don't we do it when it gets darker out? But I think we've had some pretty good success. And, knock on wood, no one got hurt. So that's all.
Alderman Larson.
Thank you. Couple things. This Thursday at Greentown Tavern, Bob Sobel and the gang are hosting a Toys for Tot event as a Marine Corps reservist. I support this strongly. I'll be there. Bring some money, bring some toys, freshly wrapped, nothing that's already been opened, and we'll get the thing going. That's this Thursday, the 4th.
Quick question, is trivia night been moved from Wednesday to Thursday?
No, they're doing it Wednesday, and maybe a little on Thursday.
All right. So anyhow, be there and support the Toys for Tots program. This next Thursday, the 11th, is our annual Veterans Day Parade. Saturday, December 4th, the Holiday Fest, which is a nice event that Main Street and the city of Waukegan gets involved with to, show off our downtown and entertain the little ones in particular. And, maybe we have some storytellers there in the audience that'll help out. And I've had some calls about leaf collection. The information has been posted. It's on our website. One thing that I see that we talk about every year is do not put your leaves in the street. Keep them on your parkway. When it rains, it washes down the sewers and helps clog them up. Please keep it on your parkway and don't rake them into the curb. Thank you very much.
Alderman Rivera.
Now, I see that Brandon's in the crowd, and you were so nice helping my fellow Lion members of the Little Fort Lions Club a couple weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. Very hospitable young man, so thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Alderman Cunningham.
2 things. One, the B3 zoning, and I've talked to Russ about this. The B3 zoning, there was a situation where these service centers are located in residential areas. Well, I thought that all of those service centers had an 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. curfew. Apparently, they can stay open well past up to 11 p.m. Is that right, Russ? According to the ordinance. In residential areas, and particularly in your older parts of our cities, you're killing. I mean, that's just, no wonder I'm getting headaches. And I'm pretty sure for those aldermen who have those service centers, those old-time service centers that right up the block, they're there. but they're under the old ordinance or grandfathered in. They cannot be sitting there till 11 p.m. at night. You can't be knocking and, that right there till 11. It just can't happen. And I think those are the complaints that I'm getting right now. It's an animated council. But I have to make, I'm making a motion right now that we must revise this in those residential areas. I mean, there's no way they can function. I mean, the ordinance was never, ever meant for that to happen. I know it wasn't. I don't think, and as we're, Moiseo said it tonight, I'm sorry, Alderman Moiseo said it tonight, that welcome to the 21st century. Well, the 21st century is here, but some of our ordinances do not reflect that. Russ, I don't know what we have to do, but we need to put this into judiciary to come up with an amendment to that particular statute as it relates to those service centers closely next to residential here. I mean, when I mean closely, right across, you're talking 50, 40 feet, they're there. And a couple of residents that every night I get a call. Every night I get a call. And I was on the assumption it was 8 p.m. Come to find out, thanks to Ann, making that clear for us, but we simply must do something. I know it affects my ward, I think the 6th ward, part of the 3rd ward. I don't know, Moise, does it hit you at all in the older parts of our city? But it's,
No, I don't think I have.
I know the 1, 4, and 6 definitely. We have them. They're everywhere. So those are that's something I'm putting in, sending over to judiciary, Your Honor, through Corporation Council, that we need to come up with something that we can address that at the same time not hurting, the existing business. But we can't have them operating till 11 p.m. at night. There's just no way. So that's the first thing. The second thing is it's very sensitive right now. Over the last 3 weeks, I've been working with a young lady regarding her vehicle being towed. Going to school, a couple of children. Thought she had paid, through the credit card or whatever have you. It didn't work. Didn't have any outstanding tickets. A person who just naive to the law as it is, and that's a good thing, having been a part of that process. When we established this ordinance, our goal and our intent was to correct some of the measures that have been out there for a long time. I think we've sent a sound message to that. But this young lady has endured $500 toll, and just other costs associated with that. And the biggest problem that she has, that occurred here, was that $500 that was assessed to her. $500 was assessed to her. And I've heard in the past that there are some of us who can pay the $500. I don't know anybody want to give up $500, rich or poor, young or old. I don't know anyone who does. We can't continue to strap folks in Waukegan because we're trying to punish 3 or 4% of the populace. That is not what I'm up here for. That is not the intent that we came here. It was the intent of sending a message. We've sent the message. Now we need to do something about this. I've personally been involved with this young lady. Tears, crying on the phone. Don't know what to do, and I don't know what to do. Ma'am, we can make phone calls, see if we can help you out with the toll bill, but according to our ordinance, the only way for you to give a reprieve on that $500 fine is through council. That's the only way. That shouldn't have to come back to this council. It should not have to come back to this council to make some administrative decisions. We are compassionate up here, and we understand there are people who continue to break these laws. That's what this ordinance is for. It is not to punish people like this. Little Junior took Grandma's car. Grandma don't know anything about it. Junior he's going to get a spank on the behind. Grandma got to come out with $500 to get her car out, plus the tow bill. That was not the intent. That was not the intent. And now it is time, because I've been intimately involved with this particular case, and I'm frustrated. I'm just flat out frustrated with this whole process. And it must be addressed, not tomorrow, not next week, now. Waukegan's at a 20% unemployment rate. And I don't want to mention when I walked out to that courtroom and what I saw. I'm going to be speaking to the chief about that. I'm not going to even mention that right now. The people who were in that 400 bodies, 400 people. I just didn't like what I saw. I didn't like it at all. But my focus today is to make some immediate action to give some flexibility to the people, or what is that? What is the young lady who handles in that housing court? What is she called?
Adjudication judge.
Adjudication. We must give her or him, whoever that person is, some flexibility to understand who is coming to her. If this is the same face over and over again, then you got to do what we got to do. But if this is someone who, hey, in baseball you get 3 strikes, you're out. In football you get 4 downs. Heck, in basketball you get 5 fouls. We're crushing these folks on the first time out the box. That was not the intent. It just wasn't. Tonight we gave $1 to the theater group. I'm happy for that. Because what? We understand what you're trying to do. We're saying yes to another business because we understand what you're trying to do. We got to understand what some of these hard-working people in Waukegan they're trying to live. That's all. And they're going to make a mistake. We have to do something about this ordinance and do something about it now. This $500 is crushing families. She's taking her rent money. She's taking her grocery money. She's taking her kids' daycare money because she needs a car. Their backs against the wall. This was not my intent. I didn't sign up for this. I don't want this. I'm telling you, we must do something about this today. And I implore every alderman, please go out on ticket day to Greenleaf and look at that courtroom. I'm telling you, go out there and take a look at it. You need to go look at it firsthand. And for you to get the impact of what I'm saying, or you need to help one of these individuals who's destituted. And it's not the action, they can't come up with the $500. I'm not telling people to not break. I know there are certain things that are going to happen, but our goal and our mission was never, ever to put their backs against the walls of what we're doing now. North Chicago has it up to $500, so it gives it flexibility. Zion has it up to $500. We are saying to our own police, to our own administrators, we're not giving them any flexibility on this. It's a take it or leave it. That's not what I signed up for. This was not the intent of this. It was never the intent. And I don't know why it's in our budget anyway. It should never be in our budget. It should never be in our budget. It shouldn't be a budgetary item. You're right there. For us to put this in our budget and say we're going to make X amount of dollars, then you're telling people you got to make them dollars. This is not a for-profit. This is not a profit situation. This is a deterrent. That's what this is for. I'm making a motion right now, and I'm hoping I get a second, that we change that $500 fine to go up to $500 and put some flexibility to our adjudication officer so he or she can make some determination as those people appeal the ticket that they get. We have to do something, folks. We got to do something, gentlemen.
Alderman Cunningham, I think you'll have to refer that either to judiciary or to public safety.
No, we can't do anything with this now, can we?
We can't take any action on this ordinance, Alderman, but we sure can get going on reviewing it. I will do that this week.
I'd like to second the motion just in, and if, so that whatever the outcome is, if there is action taken on it.
Well, it was a judiciary. It came out of judiciary, the ordinance did. So it should go back into judiciary.
Be referred back to judiciary, I believe.
Okay.
So we got a motion to refer it back to judiciary. So I have a motion by Alderman Cunningham, second by Alderman Figueroa to refer this back to the Judiciary Committee. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
If I may comment, Mr. Mayor.
Alderman Tempest.
Thank you. Sam, I want to thank you for bringing this up. I think we waited a little long to bring this up. Also, in committee, I think we ought to take a look at another rather bad part of an ordinance we have. It wasn't meant to be bad, but it turned out bad, I think. I have somebody come to visit somebody in my ward, not me, I know, but a lot of people don't know the ordinance, nor is it posted anywhere coming into the city. But if you don't have a vehicle sticker and you park on the correct side at night, guess what you can get? A ticket.
You're right.
Now, I would like to become a lawyer and defend you, but I'm not licensed, I guess, but I think I can do a better job than some of them do. If there's no sign posted anywhere coming in the city, how do you know you gotta have a vehicle sticker to park on the street at night? There are signs coming into the city saying odd even parking. We do have that covered. But I went looking, I can't find one saying you need a vehicle sticker to park on the street at night. What we did that for, to encourage people to get their vehicle sticker. I understand that. Either we better get some signs up as we enter the city, so people know, and that's kind of hard to know that way too, but it's just something we ought to look at and discuss in committee, and if we could take that up in committee also, Mayor Pro Tem, I would have.
If you live out of the city and have a vehicle sticker from another city, you cannot park on the street after 12 midnight.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
You can.
Yeah, if you call the police department.
All you have to do is call the police department saying, I'm visiting, I'm going to be parked here temporarily, give the name of the plates, where it's parked, and the police department will not ticket it. If they do ticket it, you have recourse to take the ticket down to the police department, and it'll be voided.
I'm just saying, you can't if you don't do that.
Oh,
That's right.
You can't if
So-
you don't call the police.
Yeah.
So I have a
didn't
motion
hear
on the
that
floor
last
by
part.
Alderman Tempest. Do I have a second?
It's
To
not.
refer back to committee?
Refer it back to.
Refer back
That's
to-
public.
I just add,
public
just,
safety, I think.
you don't need a motion, just put that in committee.
Something referred, all right, we'll refer that back to Judiciary Committee.
Fine,
That's
thank you.
public safety. That should be public safety, I think.
Public
that was
safety.
public safety.
Whatever you want.
That one. And last but not least, all politicians' favorite day is tomorrow. Judgment Day for politicians tomorrow, everybody. So we need you to go out and vote. Call your friends and families to go out and vote. Lucky none of us are on the ballot for Tuesday. But tomorrow is voting day, and I encourage everyone to go out and do your duty, your American your duty. People have fought and really died for this particular right to vote. So I'm encouraging and asking everyone to please go out and vote. And for those who have that influence, a lot of time those who come to these meetings, people believe what you're doing. They know you know the issues. So we need for you to also do the same. Make sure you tell everyone to please go out and vote. There's a lot at stake. Thank you, Your Honor, and you're doing a great job tonight, Tom.
Thank you.
Motion to go to executive session.
You're up, Tom.
Oh, I'm sorry. Alderman Conklin. You should have talked when it was mayor.
Yeah.
You bet.
I'd just like to say a couple of things real quick, just to reiterate what Alderman Larson said about Toys for Tots, a very worthwhile organization, and also the Veterans Day Parade. I realize that it's not a national holiday, and everybody, most people have to work that day. But if you can, please come downtown, make it, and watch the parade. And my final comment would be that the day before Veterans Day, Wednesday the 10th, 235 years ago, a group was formed and it was formed appropriately in a tavern. Place is called Tun Tavern. It's the actual birth date of the United States Marine Corps. They're 235 years old. Alderman Larson and myself are actually proud members of that organization, and we would like to say, if you remember it, raise a glass and drink a toast to the United States Marines. That's it.
Hooah.
I'd like to take a motion from Alderman Moiseo, second by Alderman Cunningham, to go to executive session to discuss pending and imminent litigation, real estate negotiations, and settlement of claims. All those in
Roll
favor?
call.
Oh, excuse me, roll.
Alderman Moiseo,
I begrudgingly.
Alderman Figueroa,
Aye.
Alderman Newsom, Alderman Tempest,
Aye.
Alderman Needham, Alderman Larson, Alderman Rivera, Alderman Cunningham,
If I say no, it no.
Cunningham.
You heard what I said, begrudgingly.
Motion carries. Do you need this? Motion by Alderman Cunningham, second by Alderman Tempest, come back from executive session. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carried. All right, then we'll do it again.
So we have to go through that again? You know, Maria was here, that was, I tell you, was it Monday night? That was great. Smooth.
And she recorded nothing. It's all blank.
Oh, wait till I tell her. Oh, man.
In other words, you could...
Threw her under the bus. Then backed up. You got it on recording? You record that? Okay. You got it on tape?
We'll call to come back.
Motion by Alderman Cunningham, second by Alderman Moiseo to come back in from executive session. Roll call, please.
Alderman Moiseo. Alderman Figueroa.
Yeah, I'm here.
Alderman Newsom. Alderman Tempest. Alderman Needham. Alderman Larson. Alderman Rivera. Alderman Cunningham. Alderman Conken.
Present. We're going to move to new actions, new business item D. Motion to reconsider awarding of bid for Green Bay Road and Water Main Project to Campanella and Sons of Wadsworth, Illinois, in the amount of $472,744.30. Corporation Counsel, Mr. Finn, would you please explain what's going on?
Yes. Subsequent to the vote awarding the bid, I had a chance to review the specs that were sent out and the bids themselves. I regret to report to the council that the specifications were faulty, flawed. For one thing, the wrong version of the local hiring ordinance was included in the specs, the 40% requirement rather than the 33 1/3 that the council passed. And secondly, the method for the bidder to indicate whether he would comply with that ordinance or not was vague and uncertain, and I couldn't myself, as a lawyer, decipher whether any of the bidders were agreeing or not agreeing to comply with the ordinance. In light of the fact that the specifications were faulty, I don't think the council's waiver of the local hiring ordinance after the fact is a sufficient cure. I think that that waiver will stand if the project were to be rebid, but I don't think it affects the problem that preceded it of the improper specs. So I would, under our ordinances, we are able to reconsider a matter at the meeting subsequent to the one in which the action was taken. It requires a motion to be made by an alderman who approved the bid, and then a second, and then we can vote on whether we want to reconsider the award to Campanella.
I'll make the motion.
I have a motion from Alderman Moiseo, seconded by Alderman Rivera, for the previously read motion to consider the award of the bid to Green Bay Road Water Main Project, the Campanella and Son, Wadsworth, Illinois, in the amount of $472,744.30. Have any questions on the motion? All those, roll call vote, please.
Alderman Moiseo. Alderman Figueroa. Alderman Newsom. Alderman Tempest. Alderman Needham. Alderman Larson. Alderman Rivera. Alderman Cunningham. Alderman Conken.
Aye.
Now we have the motion to reconsider on the floor. Now, Counselor, we need a motion, I think, to just throw them all out. if I can.
My advice to the council would be that the chair entertain a motion to, in light of the specifications being flawed, to reject all bids and rebid the project.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Motion
Motion by Alderman Tempest, second by Alderman Moiseo, is a motion to reject all bids received for the Green Bay Water Main Project. Roll call, please.
Alderman Moiseo. Alderman Figueroa.
Aye.
Alderman Newsom. Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman Needham. Alderman Larson. Alderman Rivera. Alderman Cunningham. Alderman Conken.
Aye. Since that ends our agenda, a motion to adjourn by Alderman Newsom, seconded by Alderman Rivera. All in favor? Aye. Meeting comes to a conclusion.
Good job. And happy birthday. Yeah, there you go.